I mean, I'd be surprised if we didn't. Obviously, we were talking about it before the map, and it's one of those things, isn't it? Dust is sort of old, regimented, unless you have some really fresh tactics that can change stuff up completely, and there have been a few teams of that in the past, what, a year or so. You sort of got to default to what everybody knows how to do and what everybody can do extremely effectively, and unfortunately, that's exactly what you just described. It's sometimes a little bit dull to watch, but again, Dust 2 can produce some decent games. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing one of those now. And after that last one, I'm quite interested to see how this is going to go, because as far as I can find, Orgless were undefeated until tonight.
Yeah, that is true. That's very true. And I haven't had a look at the standings since sort of the beginning of the night, but yeah, and that is definitely the case. I don't think they've even dropped a map, actually, before this.
They've not dropped a single map, and I think FM, if they win both of these, are going to be in a similar position to them, if not the same position exactly, so...
Because FM has sort of dropped a map against a team that we weren't really expecting. I think it might have been M&M that we witnessed, actually, when they had their little mixed team together. So, you know, both these teams got tripped up at times by maybe lineups that you wouldn't have expected that to happen, as see Som down to 1 HP, but FM have the advantage as Bomb gets planted in B.
Yeah, and they're just going to be going straight on the offensive here, Orgless rather. Just pushing themselves through. You do see Stanley T on the site trying to do something with that bomb down, but the T's are going to be a constant threat. They're ready to push in whenever they need to, and there's no kit on either of the players. Very difficult round to come back into. Very difficult round for them to do anything at all, and it is just going to be going in Orgless's favor. Nice, quick round there. Not particularly clean, but you pick it up, and that's going to give them the advantage they need into this T side. 3 rounds going to be on the board straight away for them, potentially, unless FM decide to go for the force here, and it looks like we might be seeing the beginnings of that now. And indeed, we will be 4 players with armor, 4 players with pistols, and actually nice to see a little bit of utility coming out as well. Smoke and a couple of flashes. Maybe going to be that little deciding factor they need. Again, though, meta at the moment does dictate that Orgless are going to have rifles in their hands, and so the armor might not be as important as it seems.
Who knows? How things develop as we go forward into the second round. Orgless then, we're trying to put things behind them after what happened last time around. Getting well and truly run over by FM, just couldn't get themselves into it. FM charging through on their T side, just barreling into it looked like a fairly solid setup, but all one-way traffic, and oh, PT takes Mighty Max off and drops off the site. Nice little team kill there. Let's see if that's going to be costly though, and it's actually gone in favour of FM with the numbers, but they don't really have the weapons to hold this off potentially. And as we go see some crisp 1Ds coming in. Oh no, well there goes one player down before Som does get a crisp 1D. HUTG trying to do some damage with his pistol up in hand, and you never know, releases on low HP. He's taken Rattlesnake. He's going to get caught from 2 angles. Rattlesnake gets 1. He's got HUTG, he knows where it's coming from. Wow, this is tense. Rattlesnake, sorry. He's 7 HP, he's got a blow in him. And he's just keeping his head up and making sure that little target there is. And oh no, HUTG picks it up. Hasn't got the kit, but I think he might have enough time to bring this one home.
I'm pretty sure he does. Impressive performance there from FM with the pistols, managing to find everybody they need. And actually, I'm pretty surprised the way that round went, because I thought as soon as they got that bomb planted down for short and they had 2 players already looking like they were heading over there, all they'd have to do is sort of huddle in, wait for the push to come in from the CTs and pick them off as they tried to get the defuse down. Instead, they go aggressive, they lose their lives, and they put themselves in, again, just an awful position. It's going to mean pistols into this round against what is essentially an extremely strong buy from FM. You can see 4 rifles out already, all the utility they could want, and Fry ready with the MP9 to mop up some more money. It's going to be another crazy map, I think, Mark.
Yeah, I think so. We had a bit of a haphazard start, didn't we, to train as well, with these guys trading round for a little bit, and before FM started to get things well and truly going in their direction. So maybe that's what it's going to come down to, is they'll bounce it backwards and forwards a little bit until one team, starts to hit their groove. From what we saw last time, you'd expect that FM might be the team that are just the more locked in as far as their aim goes, if nothing else. Their ability to out-frag and get those picks as they work into their sight. But, worst comes to worst, you're struggling a little bit. Dust 2 is one of those maps where you know, a good T side that can out-frag another team, can really put things together. So you never know what can happen. I think we are going to see again in the first 9-10 rounds how this is going to go. And you know, early on, FM making very light work of this sort of pistol buy. Plant goes in for Orgless, so that's enough cash on the board for them, and they could, if they wanted, force up here in this next round.
Yeah, with that plant, they're actually going to have a decent amount of money going into it. So again, it's what you said, Mark. It's potentially just going to be another round where we have just sort of rounds bouncing back and forth constantly until somebody manages to get that tiny bit of an advantage, get that slight run together, and then just make something of it. And I don't know, it might be coming soon. It might not be. FM do have a little bit of a bank, but again, it's all up in the air. If Orgless take this, it's going to be leaving the CTs in not too great a position, and we might just see what we have seen currently continue for a few more rounds. Right now, though, going to be buy versus buy, and it's going to be Orgless' chance to re-establish themselves on this scoreboard, to get back into the game and to start something off strong. Initially, though, looking like they're lacking a lot in the way of mid control right now, as they do have 4 players grouped up outside long.
Yeah, that's an interesting call, and kind of breaks away from the standard that you'd expect, and maybe they'll start to drift out in that sort of direction. Still a minute and 20 seconds left to go on the clock. I think they're actually going to commit to some kind of full long push. Maybe just wait for the smoke to go down, and yeah, here we go. Now they start to drift maybe more towards the mid. Maybe try and work an A split or something like this, but looking more and more like it's going to be a delayed A. Stanley is going to be filling his boots, and is that a Molotov he just thrown in? Oh no, the T's coming out and trying to do some damage, but he's managed to escape with his life as the long player. That's Stanley. He's dropped back towards the site now, and this is where the pincer comes in. Needs to try and lock down this short push if they can. Stanley gets one after he rotates off. Rattlesnake is one measly nade away from it, 2 HP. It's now going to be 3 players coming in long. They've only got the one angle to work from, and there's a trade. Neilzinho gets one before he's caught by Mighty Max. Hudge G might have heard that jump across, maybe not. Definitely heard that bomb throw though, so he knows where 2 players are. He'll be calling in the information, tries to go for the jump, but anything else that's just to put off. Mighty Max somehow manages to get a frag, but Hudge G does some serious damage through the smoke. Pulse, last man standing, 2v1 on the side. He's getting some attention from both angles, and he flicks to take down Fry. Pulse, he's going to try and bring it home. 4 HP hero. No, he isn't. Som grabs himself an AK. Oh, what a round that was, and it does in the end go in the direction of FM. Som's got time to skip around, see if he can find himself a better weapon. It's going to settle with that AK, we believe, and we are going to see FM take a 3-1 lead into this 4th round.
I don't know what to think of this already. I'm getting confused right now. Another crazy game right from the start. Another close round. Another round Orgless could have potentially picked up, and something I'm interested to see now is what Orgless do throughout the rest of their T side. I mean, if they decide to forgo that mid control often, we might see FM catch on to that a little bit and maybe take advantage. But again, a little bit too early to tell right now. They do definitely have time to establish the patterns. As you said, first 10 rounds or 10th round probably going to be where we get a little bit more of an idea about which way this game's going to go. Early on though, FM looking pretty good. That round was fairly even in the last. They managed to pick it up, although by the skin of their teeth, and this round going to be a lot easier. 3 Galils on the board for Orgless, and not a great start. Again though, this round a little bit different. They've got that position in mid early on. They've got the control across the map, and really they could fold onto either side right now. I think at the moment just probing and hoping they find something in the form of either a pick or a decent amount of information early on so that they can work off of it, and it's exactly what you were describing before. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a fallback onto those tried and tested methods of Dust 2, and just what they can do from there.
Yeah, on board with Stanley, just outside long doors, maybe thinking about a little peek. That's a tough spot to peek from though, out of long doors. You know, I've tended to play long over the years on Dust 2, and you know, I like to try and get a little aggro, but there's so many angles you can get caught from that, you know, it really is a poison chalice to try and go for that one. Som with the spray down through the smoke. Maybe he's got his teammate Fry calling out the footsteps, but he spammed through smoke and is able to pick up a couple straight away. Mighty Max in the mid, thinking about a mid to B. Not going to go for that mid to B as PT now walking out. Som was playing behind from the boxes, and there's the bomb dropped at the car. Mighty Max now goes for his mid to B. Far too late. He's picked up, drops into his weapon as well. And aside from Fry going down, who's got the cash to rebuy, that was another comprehensive round for FM. And you know, they're really starting to lock this one down early on Dust 2. It is arguably a T-sided map, so Orgless are going to be thinking, right, how are we going to get some rounds on the board? FM at this rate, going to try and keep the economy, you know, just pile on the pressure, win this one, win the next buy versus buy, and then they have potentially already racked up enough rounds on CT with the momentum also going in their favour. Som, whoa, 4 HP. So he's managed to survive that, but he lives to fight another day just about as he makes his way to back a B.
And this could be huge. Rattlesnake taken out there. I thought initially by the nade, but instead by Stanley T's AK. And the Molotov going to be forcing the rest of the players out of long doors with the bomb in the hands of the CT. So another round just going disastrously from the start, and it's going to mean the Orgless have to follow it. They have to try and recover that, and it's just not going to be working out for them. The frags rain in, and it's another round in FM's favor. Again, comprehensively, it's allowing them to start this economy up. It's allowing them to get themselves a little bit more security in the sense that if they lose this buy round, they can still come into the next strong. They can try and reset the economy of Orgless and just keep pushing themselves towards that victory. Again, though, it depends what's going to happen this round. It depends if Orgless actually manage to pick one up finally, and you gotta hope. I don't want to see another game as one-sided as the last, at least in terms of rounds. I don't know, right now though, Orgless just seeing what they can do to establish positions again. Early presence in tunnels, early presence in mid. Just going for the default and seeing what they can do to work off it. And Neilzinho might have given them a little bit of a chance there. Mighty Max spots out his side and manages to pick the frag up. So that's the AWP down for FM and the one-man advantage gained. This could be their chance to start off strong. Stanley T looking like he's going to be the next man and walking directly into the crosshair of Pulse. And I like the initiative to try and go for a little bit of a push there, but ill-advised in this situation, going to leave him somewhere he does not want to be, which is going to be the grave, and it's going to allow Orgless everything they need into this round. They've got the two-man advantage right now. They've got a lot of control across the map, and realistically, they can push onto either side. They can fake for days. They've still got 50 seconds left, and there's more CTs just presenting themselves. This time, Hudge into Longhouse, almost losing his life in the name of information, and Tom goes down on site, going to be leaving him again in a position he doesn't want to be, out on long alone, taken down quickly, and so it's just Fry left. 1 versus 5. It's impossible. Orgless find themselves that second round, and when you're talking about, you know, when you're talking about how strong they look picking up the rounds, 5 men left alive at the end of it, and all the frags coming in like that, you gotta say Orgless looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad way to go, but they've got a lot more rounds that they need to pick up if they want to make this remotely easy for them going into the second half, you would argue. And here's Pulse going straight away, trying to make a pick on long, miles away from the sort of pre-fire of the corner that he was maybe trying to go for. That nade doesn't do any damage either, so nothing doing for him just for the time being. And you know, for Orgless, they've got to be wary of this reset. They have lost 5 on the spin, so back down to $1,400. And judging by the way things are looking, well, actually, they'll be absolutely fine if that happens to them. They'll still be able to buy again into the next round, regardless of what happens here. Aside from a couple of TKs, but don't see too many of those, thankfully.
Yeah,
5 left to go on the clock, sorry.
As you said, 1:05 left on the clock. Orgless setting themselves up in a great position once again. Pulse straight in with the frag, starts things off nicely. Hudge going to be allowed the chance to respond, but already the push coming in towards A. It's going to be down to the 2 CTs there to try and do something about it. Neilzinho does initially going to be traded out as well. Hudge now left to defend solo, and unfortunately for him, it's just not a possible task. Manages to do a little bit of damage, but not going to be finding the frag. Som does exactly the same. PT just catches him out in the end, and this time not a 5 versus 1, but a 3 versus 1 for Fryan. Another situation he doesn't want to be in, another situation that you got to argue it's hard to play from, and I think he realizes that. Just going to be falling away now, allowing them to pick up their 3rd round and potentially giving them the chance to build that economy up even more and set themselves up for success. So despite the 5-round run we saw FM go on early, this one's looking like, again, it could be back and forth and it could be close. Both teams managing to put some runs together, and potentially both teams going to end up at sort of that 8-7 scoreline by the half.
Terrorists win. Yeah, who knows? Fry keeps himself a weapon. Mighty Max 7 HP would have been a fairly comfortable steal, but no challenge coming in at this point. So Orgless, they have put themselves together 2 rounds on the spin. Plenty of cash in the bank as well, aside from Release and Pulse, who have had to rebuy a couple of times. Everyone else 6.5, 7k with a full buy to go with. FM have got Fry's Slave Weapon plus pistols. Wouldn't be the first time they've ecoed Orgless though, so got to be careful. As these players tucking in at tight angles, Stanley, for example, who's in close. Got to be careful of going for a B stack, actually, and maybe he's trying to bait the action in. That chance might have gone. They might have just exposed. They had 2 players. They know that the M4 is over in that direction. Som has a play. Rattlesnake, though, he gets 2, and that trade ends up working quite well for the T's, all in all. And fair play, bit of patience, but maybe some could just sat in there a little bit longer. I guess maybe with Rattlesnake being able to spam through the box, that was a risky position. So did about all he could there. Managed to drop one of the weapons, and that's not in a recoverable position for these guys, you wouldn't think. Stanley, so he's sitting in close, gets flashed off. No one pushed him just yet, and maybe a chance for him to get in from behind someone. But that has gone away as well. Neil Zinho now has players walking towards the A. Might have the chance to make 2, but he gets tucked down in the end by Mighty Max, who's taken down to 18 points of health. Red Snake gets Stanley, who was already down to low, leaving Fry. Again, last man with the M4 in hand. Maybe pick up an exit if he can. Just call it quits there.
And this is just seeming like a recurring nightmare for Fry right now. 3 rounds in a row, I think, where he's just been left alone in an unwinnable position, and this time he doesn't even manage to hold on to the M4. Going to be taken down by Rattlesnake fairly quickly and left to rebuy into this. That's if they can. Again, FM's economy really not looking strong this round. Last round, obviously going for an eco on the majority of their players. This round going to have a little bit more to work with, so we will see some decent pistols and a little bit of utility come out. Still, looking like we could see things tied up here fairly quickly, and PT going to be trying to make it even quicker as he goes for the early aggression towards mid, gets himself all the way out, finds himself a frag, and going to be looking to see what he can do onto Som as well. That's another in. The smoke's down for the mid to be, and they're just going to be looking to dominate this site fast, keep FM away from it entirely, and really just not even give them a chance for frags into this one.
No, sure isn't. And when you've got a player coming mid to B like PT did, and you've got pistols in hand, that is not fun against an AK. And see, PT gets taken down to 13 points of health, but he's already got 2 frags to his name. Easy entrance into the site. The Hutchie and Stanley trying to wrap around, but Rattlesnake is there, getting in their faces, trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's a decent spot if you want to try and save anything for a start. You know, maybe thinking they might have picked up a weapon, but no one's been dropped, no weapons available. Nothing for FM to scavenge Mad Max style, and it is going to be now brought even. 5-5. Orgless are on a terror here. Brought it back to 5-all, so 4 rounds on the spin for Orgless after FM dropped 5 consecutive. Now, Orgless actually won the first pistol round before they dropped that, and dropped the 4 beyond that as well, so finally in the balance still, and FM, yeah, if they can pick up around probably this one against a 4-buy, get another 1 or 2 out of this, then they've got to be fairly happy about it. But you know, what looked like it could have been another rout has now been brought back into a very competitive second map between these 2.
Yeah, and potentially looking like it even has the possibility of going the other way. I mean, Orgless's economy at the moment, ridiculously strong. 2 players sitting on over 10k at the moment, and PT just slightly below that on 9,600. So realistically, they lose this round, FM are going to have a hard time stringing them together, because they're just going to be faced with buy after buy after buy until Orgless can find themselves that max round loss bonus, if it comes to that. So, again, not a great position for them to be in, and it's another map where we see that sort of, that curse of being on the CT side come out, where establishing the economy once you've lost it just becomes ridiculously hard. This round going to be especially expensive, as we do see 2 orbs coming out on their side. Neil Zinho and Huds G going in with those. But no chance to use them there. Oh, yeah, Orgless keeping themselves to themselves, just establishing that mid-control, figuring out what they want to be doing, and setting up for an explosive push onto the A site, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, and here we go. The flashes come in. We've got one player at Goose at the back. He's going to try and do what damage he can. I'm going to get on board and see how that is. Well, we've got someone underneath. He's causing havoc, as it's Nilzinho. He must be the Goose player. Might max and release, get Nilzinho and Fry as they come in and try and rotate. Rattlesnake actually gets the frag with Stanley, and release grabbing Som as well. So Hudgy, last man. They know exactly where he is. 2v1. You know, this is clutchable. He could make this. Got armor up to go with his AWP, and he's going to make his way up onto short. Let's see what he's got then. Both players stacking around that area. Smoke pushed him out, and wow, that's a brave jump. And Rattlesnake is more than happy to say thank you as he sees Hudgy standing out in the open. And Orgless 5 on the spin now, 6-5. They've finally taken this lead on this thing. Slender 1-round lead.
I mean, at the moment it does look like exactly what I was talking about in the last round. There's a chance for them to just take this half by storm, completely dominate it, because they're going to have the economy going into it, and they just establish it more in that last round. They don't drop too many players. They keep themselves looking competitive, and they force FM back to the pistols once more. And again, we've seen them do some damage with these, but we've not seen them really be able to do anything too crazy, find any real damage onto Orgless or pick up any rounds with it. I'd be surprised if we saw it again, and especially as Orgless seem to be heading towards that B site where there is only one player at the moment. I mean, Fry going to be in a decent position with the CZ. Obviously, one of those places that will be checked potentially gives him the chance for the one frag. The issue is, once he's found that one frag, what does he do? Pulse is down, but they should be expecting him down. Indeed, they are. TP with the kill quickly. Hudgy going to be coming in as well, though, finding himself one with a pistol, so damage being done this round for sure. It's just what more they can do to get the site back in their favor. Smokes have gone down, they're blocked off at every angle, and there are going to be guns watching anything they try and do. Hudgy and Som going for a little bit of a cheeky boost there to gain some information, but they can't use it to their advantage in terms of frags. And it means that despite having one man up compared to Orgless, they're going to be in a bad position again, and Release is going to make sure the one-man advantage doesn't last long. Finds himself Stanley, starts things off nicely, and leaves FM in a position that they shouldn't be able to win from. And it looks like we're just going to be seeing that continue. More frags raining in, more rounds raining in for Orgless. And again, nice cleanish round, nice dominant half, and more economy gain. Rattlesnake and Mighty Max both sitting on 16k at the beginning of this one, dropping themselves down to 14,900 right now, but that's more than enough. They can buy themselves up ops however much they like. They can drop teammates if it's needed, and they can just continue to be a huge threat to FM throughout the rest of this half now, even at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless of what happens, that is done. They can keep on buying. It's like your 10k and your MR6 kind of deal. So really good stuff from Orgless, putting a great run together. And that was so crisp once they got into B, you know. FM throwing all sorts of stuff in there. They had the numbers advantage, but they had the cover. And when it came to making those shots, whenever someone sort of made an appearance on the site, crisp, 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 covering Mighty Max, who's in close underneath the window. You know, perfect, flawless, and a completely different kettle of fish to what we saw from them on Train, which is interesting. Just how much difference one map can end up making, and you know, maybe it's just a sign that Orgless hadn't put as much time into Train as they had some of their other maps. And you know, Dust 2 is one of those things where pretty much everyone knows how to play it. You cut your teeth on Dust 2, you start playing your first matchmakings on Dust 2, and you know, from that point it becomes one of those familiar situations, and we're seeing it again. Familiar. 35 seconds left to go. All 5 players are still alive, still no real commitment to it, and look how slow Orgless are going for this ace strat. I mean, 28, 27, and now the flashes start to come in and the smokes, but they still haven't made it to crossover. They've got 20 seconds to get there and get the plum.
I mean, that's never going to be easy. And all FM really have to do in this situation is find themselves the frags to slow down the push. And they've done just that. The bomb down. Rattlesnake has to go for it, and he doesn't have long left. 8 seconds down the board, and he's just going to have to sit down and stick this plant. The issue is FM don't have anybody on site. They're going to have 2 players coming in for the retake, but more time's being bought. Rattlesnake has the AWP, and he can just set himself up on the angle and pick anybody that comes across, and indeed he does. Stanley down, and Fry follows. Another round on the board for Orgless. A beautiful clutch from Rattlesnake, and it's picked them up the half win at the very least. Again, more economy, more rounds, more everything. They seem unstoppable at the moment, and anything FM throws at them, they throw right back, and with more power, this is a beautiful half from them, and a complete, as you said, a completely different team almost even from the last map.
Nice work from Rattlesnake, but you know, you put Rattlesnake in a 2v1 situation, defending the bomb, AWP in hand on Dust 2. You know, you would probably favour Rattlesnake, especially if they're both going to come at him from the same angle, and you know, never in doubt. You know, from those two, just on point with both of his shots, and they've completely transformed their effort so far. And you think, you know, if Orgless can do the same thing as FM did and pick up the pistol on CT side, then, you know, that's pretty much game over. Rattlesnake against Fry. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, it's Rattlesnake. Surprise, surprise. And Fry even had the first shot. Takes Rattlesnake down to half. Storm comes in for the trade. That's the best he can get. His teammates are now trying to come in from the other direction, but maybe this is a chance. Rattlesnake and Pulse are going to be trying to bring this thing home, bringing the bomb in there. So they've got Hudge G straight away. So Hudge G flashed off. He will have been called out, and Pulse picks up the AWP, misses the shot, misses the second shot, and oh wow. Okay, Pulse needs to get a bit more practice in deathmatch with the AWP in hand. Just misses two fairly tough shots against the moving Hudge G if you're not used to having the AWP, I guess. And you know, FM give themselves a fighting chance just to make this thing close. Maybe 8-7. And with the way that the second half of this map's gone, they're going to be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, an 8-7 would be great for FM right now. It wasn't looking like it was going to be on the cards, but as you said, a couple of missed shots there might have cost them. At the same time, FM now have two players on extremely low health from the offset. Fry on 3, Som on 21. And Orgless is sitting pretty with everybody on 100, so despite the fact that nobody has a player advantage at the moment, all it's going to be taking is, what, one bullet for Fry, 2 bullets for Som maybe. And that's 2 players down already, and Rattlesnake going to be starting off on the high health player, actually takes out Neilzinho and gives the man advantage as well as the health advantage to Orgless. I was hoping to see an 8-7, I was hoping that we'd see this one come close in the half, and instead it's looking like it might just be a 9-6. Hudge G though does come back into it, does find himself one, but going to be losing a lot of health in the process, and it's just looking a little bit too much for FM to deal with right now. They had 3 players there on low health. Hudge G does get taken down. And they're just at such a disadvantage right now. We'll have to see something magical. We'll have to see headshot after headshot from Fry if they do decide to go towards B with the AK to find himself anything at all in this round. And I just don't think he's going to have the confidence to do it. I mean, we saw how the engagement towards B went in the last round. And it was extremely one-sided, and it looks like it's going to be a similar thing coming in here. Rattlesnake with the AWP, along with Release and PT. Making their presence known, making sure they get that push across, and the position of Fry going to be revealed as well. He throws the flash out, gives the game away, and allows an easy frag for Release to come in. Just nice CS from Orgless, I think. They've managed to find themselves the site with a 2-man advantage. A little bit low on time, but it's not going to matter because the bomb's gone down, and now what are FM going to be able to do on the retake? My guess is not much.
Well, no, you wouldn't think so, not with the way that it's looking. Stanley's going to push through. He gets completely blind. Footsteps gave away his position like an elephant. Pulse steps out and grabs the blinded player very, very comfortably. Som Corp, 9-6 is going to be. And, you know, Orgless are 1 pistol round away from a fairly easy victory in the second map, you'd think.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, the way we've been seeing them play in this one. Again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, they look like a whole different team. They've just got so much confidence. You've called out their crisp aim, and obviously that's been on point as well. And as I think you said early on in the map, Dust 2, one of those places where you play that, realistically, if your aim is just that much better than the other teams, if you're just hitting the shots, if you're a little bit more confident, if everything's going your way, you are going to be picking it up with some ease at the moment, though. FM seeing what they can do to take this back. Starting the pistol off strong. 2 frags already coming in, and Fry finds the 3rd. So maybe a little bit of a chance for them here, especially as that next comes in onto PT and leaves just Mighty Max with a USP in hand all the way across the map over towards A with nothing to do. So actually, maybe going to be closer than I was thinking, at least, as we might see the 9-9 tie come out here to start this second half off.
I think Mighty Max has got turns to do unless he can pick up an exit frag, but I don't think so. He probably needs to think about dying, doesn't he? I know he's going to take the armour into this one and might have a play on Stanley, but I'm trying to work out the economy of it. I think it might have been better for him to have snuffed it there, to be completely honest.
What? I'm trying to work out the logic. He's CT side, so he's going to be gaining money as well. Going to be on about the same as his team. I'd say he's looking pretty good where he is right now, and it's going to allow them to have at least something more into this round with that armor. Picks up P250, picks up a flashbang, gives them a little bit to work with. Again, might not be enough, because FM are going to be coming into it strong, but at the beginning of this round, not looking too bad at all. They managed to take it even. They managed to give themselves a little bit of a chance, and at least they're doing damage, if nothing else. It's going to be a 2 versus 3, but still the potential for 1 or 2 more frags to be coming out, as long as they hit those shots well. And Mighty Max is 2 frags for him, and almost manages to find the line onto Nilzinho as well. Extremely unfortunate for him there that he couldn't, but at the same time, a lot of damage done to the economy of FM, and going to be giving Orgless a good chance into the first gun, a good chance to crumble their economy right from the beginning of this half and set themselves on the path to victory later on.
Let's see, so FM going to be looking to bring this thing even, 9-all if they pick this one up, and then things could get interesting. Might be in for a close and long and drawn out battle here. I don't know what we were craving when we saw the fixture on paper, at least between these two. First map didn't quite deliver, and Nilzinho, though, he's got 2, taking out PT on Rattlesnake, and then suddenly FM look like a different unit again. Now they are up against an eco bash, but they're still going to make these frags. Mighty Max gets 1 before he's traded straight away, doesn't manage to pick up a weapon. So pulse and release, I'll just make it release then. As bomb comes across, release in the mid, so he's in a bit of a trade-off with Som and does come away with it. You know, Stanley 11 HP would be a comfortable find for him. He's got an AK up in hand as well, so he could do some serious damage with that potentially if he wants to go for it. But I think Release is going to be quite happy to keep hold of this AK. Let's see, $2,800, no utility, no armor. But he's walking, just trying to find an exit frag, but chances are he's not going to go rushing in now, especially with so little time left on the clock. Let's see if Hudgy would be on the site. He's going to try and make a play to get down long. That's exactly where he does, but not going to go hunting, and Release is going to survive, as are the remaining 3 FM eSports players. They bring it even to 3-all, so win the pistol again. This time piggyback through to get to the next couple of rounds, bring it to a tie, and if they can storm through T-side like Orgless did, well, we could be seeing a 2-0. Who would have thought that after the way the first half went?
I mean, it's looking entirely possible right now. I wouldn't say it's not gonna happen, although obviously Orgless do have a little bit of a chance to get back into this one now. They've got a couple of thousand, well, sorry, rather the economy on both teams looking fairly similar. FM have only got a couple of thousand on the majority of their players, if not less. And so they lose this, they're going to be looking at a similar situation. They're not going to be all too strong. Right now, though, looking good from the start. Nilzinho with 1, Fry with the second. Going to be taking out Rattlesnake and Mighty Max, 2 players who have been a significant threat on this map so far. So, from the start, not a bad round. Only going to have 3 to go up against them. Honestly, from the way we've been seeing these guys play on their T side in the pistol round and the 2 afterwards, potential for them to just storm through this one as well, build that economy up a little bit more, and establish themselves for exactly what you said, a 2-0 series.
Well, yeah, it sure is tense, and FM going to be putting themselves out into the lead, so kind of like a flashback to the first match that we're looking at, with Reason just looking like they had maybe just a little bit more in the tank against Kaz on Mirage, even though, you know, Kaz were on their map choice and look pretty strong in it themselves. Maybe we're going to see the same kind of example from FM. Orgless showed what they could do, looked very, very solid being aggressive on T-side. Maybe FM are just going to be able to bring exactly the same thing to the table. We shall see. And now they survive, flawless victory. Everyone's going to keep their weapons, etc., etc., and they're going to be looking to build the economy much in the same way as Orgless did last time around. So all of them have got full cash, chance to upgrade, pick their utility back up. And let's see what they can do from there. Stanley kept quiet, 6 frags to 11 on the FM side. Anyone sort of really lagging behind for Orgless? Well, no. It's the short answer to that one. A good team contribution, getting themselves into this position, but now they need to try and bring it back home. They've lost that advantage, 10-9. Back up in the B tunnels. B's been a good route for FM to work from. HUDG got them in control. They're not expecting any real pressure to come from there just yet. And Fry and Son working together, and they've got control of B yet again. And this is an Orgless buy that we're up against. PT grabs HUDG from the mid, so maybe that's going to be some half-decent information for where this rotate is going to be coming in from. But looks like FM have got the chance to bring yet another one on the board. Their 5th straight Orgless, still wanting to get into this second half.
Yeah, and it looks like Orgless are going to be going for a save again, so another easy round for FM, essentially. They've lost one player, but again, more economy on their side. You can see what Orgless are going for in the sense they want to hold on to that ult, they want to hold on to the M4s, they want to get as many buys as they can in a row. They want to keep that pressure on, but at a point you've got to ask yourself, how far are you willing to let it go? FM are already on 10. This is going to be taking them to 11, and past that, well, they're only a few rounds away from winning the game, so we're going to have to see something a little bit more decisive from these CTs soon if they want to get anything done in this half whatsoever, because right now, FM are on a tear. 5 rounds in a row, looking to make it more than that. I'm going to be up against, well, another buy, but they've been making short work of them so far. I don't see why this round should be too much different.
Well, no, not at all. It's been down to FM out-picking over towards the B site, and then it's a real tough site to retake. In fact, they both are in their own little ways, A and B. I think given the choice, I'd rather be trying to make a retake over towards the A, so there's less opportunities for players to dig themselves in and really kind of dig themselves into the trenches as such. At least if you're trying to take A, then you've got some different angles and players that might be stretching out towards long, for example, and if you can find the face, then you might be able to pick up a frag or two there. So arguably easier, but it looks like A might be the avenue that they're thinking about taking this time. Still going to play it passive, just keep control of the mid. And here we go, the utility going in towards the A long now and towards the short. So is it going to be a pincer movement? You see Orgless scrambling to try and get themselves across and to just bolster that long. Still though, FM don't commit anything, just biding their time. HUDG in mid, going to try and flush out PT. Throws off a Molotov to actually make sure that he can't rotate through mid doors and get from behind him while they try and work, and they go for it. There's Rattlesnake, they're completely blind as he tries to move towards Carr, and maybe wasn't expecting that, but he's taken down, and there goes the AWP. Wave goodbye to that Orgless, and it's now going to be Rifles trying to make this retake. Nilzinho with the AWP, so maybe he can try and get towards long, just peeking the angle slowly but surely, just kind of slicing the pie, taking out more and more of that angle until he gets the chance to make the frag on Mighty Max, but he doesn't. Fry instead though picks up a frag, and these FM players have gone drifting off, just catching these rotators. Fry gets one as well on Mighty Max. 12-9 it is. All of those weapons that we were working hard to save and buy up have been dropped. Everyone's still got the cash to buy, but they don't have much left after this one.
I mean, they've seemed to have the cash to buy for a few rounds in a row now. FM don't seem to care. They just keep putting round on top of round, and that one, I think, a little bit less conventional, as they did decide to take the fights away from the site to stop the retake. It worked for them, though. They changed things up, found the frags, managed to take themselves to 12, and again, it's looking like this could definitely go to a 2-0. We are going to have to see something come out of Orgless soon. We're going to have to see a decent streak of rounds, because they are up against it right now, to give themselves that chance. And the issue for them is that they didn't even get the advantage that FM had in the last half of the good start on CT. It started off badly for them, and it's looking to continue that way, where FM had 5 rounds right off the bat. They have no space to work with at all, so I don't know, just more and more issues for them to deal with. As you said, economy definitely looking very thin right now. $100 to $750 is going to be about the range of money they can use. This round far from perfect in itself. I mean, there's 49 seconds left on the clock, so a decent amount of time for FM to work with, and there's not too many nades. As well as that, again, first pick goes the way of FM. HudsG there onto PT to start things off, and HudsG's just going to be continuing to push aggressive. Finds Mighty Max 2, now looking for Rattlesnake. And looking like he might have the opportunity. Rattlesnake, a far cry from what we saw earlier, missing AWP shot after AWP shot there, and just giving the chance to HudsG to find those frags until it's just released left. Trying to push into mid, trying to find anything he can as a consolation, but ultimately not finding anything. 13-9 right now, and FM just seeming completely unstoppable.
Yeah, I think you kind of touched on the key to the game, if you like, in that last round, is that FM got themselves that 5-round buffer, lost the pistol, won the next 5, and then from that point it was, looked like it might have been up a game over. Fry trying to get aggressive, and he was a bit too spray there as he tries to take that PT, but he does end up picking up the frag. Mighty Max, though, good game sense, and maybe with a bit of information as to how much HP just went down, and he pushes through and does end up trading that one. So still in favour of the T's, just about, but Orgless will be glad to have evened up the numbers at least. So, see what happens with that. Mighty Max doesn't manage to retrieve himself a weapon, though. Maybe going to try and think about pushing through, but that's a dangerous move as HudsG is there waiting the pounce, just kind of covering that. And yeah, he'll be looking to work solo out towards long. While his teammates go towards short, maybe nope. Scratch that. He's now going to join his teammates at short before heading back again. So, a minute left to go on the clock. They've got time, and Stanley takes down Rattlesnake. So normally Team Orpa for Orgless, but it is on the pistol this time. Mighty Max, he's still looking long, maybe thinking about wanting to go and retrieve that rifle. And, that smoke from HudsG's going to go in. And now HudsG, he's known that, and he's thrown his weapon away before picking up that AK of his teammate. Som gets released, and HudsG grabs Pulse. So Mighty Max last man standing, and tell you what, good bit of game sense from HudsG throwing that AK away. Doing exactly what Mighty Max was going for, reacted to it, dealt with it, plant down, clean up operation, and one player. Let's see, has anyone got 16k in the bank yet? Not quite, but Stanley is practically there, and wow, FM, I mean, they've really impressed me tonight.
I mean, what more can you say than that? I think they've impressed everybody who's watching. They've put up a huge performance on both maps at this point. Come back from 6-9 at the halftime, and this one to 14-9. Still not let Orgless pick up anything at all. And looking to continue in that same vein, Rattlesnake taken out instantly in this round by Som. Another opening pick, another great start to a round, and another advantage that they just... Well, I mean, obviously they feel they need it at this point, but they just don't need. They've been picking up consecutive rounds for a long time now, and you've got to think it's about time Orgless do something about it. It just seems like, unfortunately, they're incapable of doing it at the moment. I'm not sure if that's to do with confidence or potential frustration or what. They just don't seem to be quite as in the game right now. Finally, we do see something coming out. Mighty Max manages to find the trade. Or the response, rather, manages to take it into a 4 versus 4 situation and give Orgless at least a little bit of a chance into this one, but soon enough, they're going to be met by the 4 players pushing down long, and something actually that might be the saving grace is if this is realized quick enough, PT could get him from behind. He could be the deciding factor if that doesn't become Mighty Max from early on. This could be their round. This could be Orgless's chance to get themselves back into this one, and it all looks so close. 2 versus 2 situation as Neilzinho picks up that frag, but unfortunately, again, the site in FM's control, the bomb going down, and that puts a clock on the CTs. It means that they are going to have to push into this one soon. Both have kits, so a decent amount of time for them to work with. Just, once more, not a great situation to be in and not a great place to play from.
No, but the plant maybe doesn't favour Neilzinho. He hasn't got quite as much flexibility as he would have liked to be covering that, perhaps. But he has got some sight of it. Fry's going to have to do his job up close on the site and do what he can to try and take down these 2 players. Mighty Max spray. It's a bit of a spray, but it's controlled. He's able to flick to the top of the box and take down Mighty Max release. He's on there on the site, and Fry does not need the help of Neilzinho. He is able to pick it up all on his own. 15-9 it is, and we are looking at match point for the 2-0. And I think just to kind of reflect on it, it's 2 teams that have been super strong on their T side, and I think we're looking at 2 of the more talented teams in the competition, one in terms of experience and two in terms of their pure fragging ability, and we're seeing it from both of them on their T side. They've been out picking, getting their entrances into the site, and it's been far too easy on that front. The one difference though is that FM were able to pick up a few rounds on their CT defence, and those 5 on the spin have been the one thing that Orgless haven't been able to put together. Mighty Max again trying to open up his account, and he's first to it, but Son might have a play straight away and does look away actually from the pick in mid. But yeah, I think what it's come down to is that FM just managed to deliver enough. Picked up just a few CT rounds, and that turned out to maybe be the difference maker as Fry trades back, taking down Snake, and we got Som. So he's got pretty much free reign to walk towards A. I don't think he knows that yet, but he's going to give brilliant fire support for his teammates if he's not caught from behind, and he is. So that's information though, as Nilzinho grabs Pulse, Fry grabs Mighty Max, and they know that PT is now up onto the site, which is where they're going to be trying to get to. So the bomb is getting retrieved. We've got Release and PT. Try to do it. Release going fast up onto short to try and support his teammates as all of the flashes come pouring in. PT's got another one before he's caught by Stanley. So it's Stanley and Nilzinho against Release. Orgless fighting for their life here. It's all down to Release. What can he do? Well, he gets felled, and it is 16-9 in favour of FM. And